It's hard to take Wednesday off because she's so cool. I look in the mirror and I see her. That judgmental glare is 2 seconds away. Hey Harper's Bazaar, I'm Jenna Ortega, and I'm breaking down how I brought all of my most iconic characters to life. It probably was the driest spout I've ever had in my career. I had just gotten off of this Disney show, and I had about a year and a half where getting jobs seemed impossible. I couldn't audition for films, so it was a very confusing time. I was watching a ton of movies, a ton of shows, and I saw this show. And I was so excited by it. Lee repped Penn Badgley, and I said, if they ever did another season, you gotta let me know if there's a part. And a week later, she gave me a call and she said, Jenna, you will not believe. They're looking for a girl in your age range. And I said, well, when they start, I need to be the first one in there, please, please, please. And I was the first girl to audition, and I was the only girl who tested for that role. It was my first table read for you, but I remember just being nervous by the pressure of it all. Mid-table read, Penn stopped, put his hand on my shoulder and went, I'm so charmed by you. And I just about fainted. And nobody had ever told me that, ever. And I thought that that was such a sweet, considerate way to put it. And she's probably my favorite character I've ever played. Megan and I had a conversation, and it went really smoothly, and I don't know why she cast me or agreed to cast me, because I had no work that could show that I could carry sort of heavier material or more dramatic material. She just kind of trusted me, and because of that, I was so grateful. I wanted to put that same trust and respect into her when we worked together. Maddie was not attached to the project at the time, but we were pretty sure that Megan had her in mind. And Maddie is one of the few people, there's maybe 3 people in my life that I've talked to, and it's just instantly all poured out into this big, beautiful mess, and we can't shut up, and we don't touch our phones, and really grateful for this job because Maddie, she's just, I think, one of the greatest friends I'll ever have. So Veda is a character who I feel like I've known her, I feel like I've been her. I wanted to reflect that in a character that is so funny and unique, but ultimately so lost and so thrown. I was a fan of the films growing up. They kind of were the first horror films that I could actually digest. They were just funny enough and just weird enough. The performances were so killer. I did 2 scenes for my audition for Scream. I did the opening scene. That was a cold read that I did in front of the directors, Matt and Tyler, for the first time. Terrifying. After the first attack has happened, and when she gives me a huge spoiler in the film as to who her father is, and it's supposed to be this really emotional scene. Ooh, the first time you see the robe and the mask, you definitely get chills. It's weird. It feels like you're not supposed to be seeing it because there is actually, believe it or not, a clear distinction from the real one. Was a scene with me speaking with Thing and threatening to torture him and lock him up in my drawer. It was pressure because I didn't know that I was gonna do it, and then I knew that I was gonna do it maybe 2 days before, and then they tell you less than 24 hours before that Tim Burton's gonna be on the call as well, which I had never read for Tim before, so yeah, that's scary. Covered in blood. I was wearing a prosthetic that cut my face, so I had just this gash across my chin. Grease all in my hair. I think he kind of liked it. Nothing I can say. I'm so terrified of spoiling anything. I feel anything that I say about the new season, people are gonna take it and run with it and create something that could potentially be so off, it's funny, or so on the nose and true that that's scary and I might get in professional trouble. It's about her. It's super attractive and something that you naturally want to gravitate towards. After shooting the first season, maybe I would feel a bit stupid wearing a pink top after the fact. You know, she wouldn't want to see you in this. It's embarrassing. And I look in the mirror and I see her. That judgmental glare is 2 seconds away. So I think I kind of have to operate just knowing that she's around the corner. X is one of those movies that I'm so glad it came my way. I think I was 17 when I first got it in my inbox, and I actually was working on Scream when it came up, and the directors of Scream, Matt and Tyler, were good friends with Ty West. I knew that I was gonna be in good hands going into X. It was such a bold, raunchy, but brave script, and you don't really see too many things like that anymore. No idea what this girl's name is, but she was in Sabrina Carpenter's Taste music video. Maybe I was called The Girlfriend? That's The Girlfriend. I've known Sabrina for a while. She sent me references, Death Becomes Her and whatnot, and said that it might be fun. I was in the middle of the Beetlejuice press tour, so my schedule was insane. And I had an in-between day, a travel day, and that just so happened to be the day that they wanted to shoot this video. So I thought, okay, so do I rest and do I hang out and like take this in-between day? Or do I get in full glam and try on 6 or 7 outfits and kill someone repeatedly throughout the day? I said, all right, I'm gonna flip a coin. And heads or tails, let's go with tails. And I flipped it and then it landed and it was tails. So I said, oh, I have to do it. So I called my team and they said, are you sure? Like, we know you. And I said, no, it was tails. That said, I was surrounded by so many people that I love and respect that I just kind of thought, all right, I'm gonna be as professional as possible. I'm not gonna talk too much. I can only imagine someone who's like Winona, who's been so respected and so successful for so long, but Winona was so warm and so talkative. Anytime that I've gotten to work with musicians, it's very exciting and inspiring for me. Trey and I talked for a bit. He's a really, really big filmmaker for me. I love his work. Then Abel came and he was a sweetie. So cool, and I felt like I was in such good hands, and I think I just really wanted to work with the two. I knew that I was gonna be inspired and do something creatively unlike anything I had ever done before. Abel is so wonderful because, you know, he's curious and wants to learn. So he asks the best questions. He's so well prepared. He's kind of your dream partner in a scene. Barry is also a dream. Is gonna do. That's so much fun. Thank you guys so much for watching.